Patreon Q&A number 64, part 2. Part 1 was released earlier today. I still want to thank all 85 of my exquisitely ultra-powerful, attractive patrons, guys. I still love you so much. Thank you for everything. And to everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully. JC asks, hey there, missed last week's question, but now I've got an even juicier matchup for you, Z. Love the content as always. Hey, thanks, Chase. My matchup scenario, Gouketsu takes a wrong turn on his way to the martial arts tournament and instead stumbles upon the House of Evolution where he's attacked by none other than Carnage Kabuto in his Carnage mode. High Dragon matchup, who gets the job done and how? I'm going to say that Gouketsu probably wins this. Now, it's really difficult to say because we don't really have too many feats on Carnage mode, Carnage Kabuto, outside of him just showing what he could do against Saitama, and we heard that he pushed Darkshine to his absolute limit in the VGC. So that's somewhat gauging his power, but we've more so seen what Gouketsu is capable of. And given that Carnage mode, Carnage Kabuto is intelligent, definitely. It says that he's like even more intelligent than Dr. Genus. I'm paraphrasing here, but comparable intelligence. But he doesn't really have the martial arts skill and experience that Gouketsu does, although they seem to be somewhat comparable, almost relative in their power. I assume that maybe Carnage Kabuto can replicate the feats that we saw of Gouketsu, but their speed, it's difficult to say who is faster, but I'm going to probably give it to Gouketsu here. It's going to be a high diff for sure either way, but I would say Gouketsu probably edges him out with his skill and just overall just raw power that maybe is more so than Carnage Kabuto's, maybe. Slick Wild ass, I think I asked this question too late last time, or I'm dumb and I missed it in the vids. Ignore if that's the case. Well, I try to check out all of the questions on Sunday morning around that time, so try to get it in like early Sunday or at least just before Sunday, and that will guarantee that your question will make it into the video. But I know you know that, Slick. I know that you're one of the very first patrons, and you've been here for like over a year now, and I appreciate that so much, so thank you. What do you think is going to happen to the Council of Swordsmen in the story? Do you think they're going to get more of a spotlight, or were they just a small side note? I think they're pretty powerful in their own right, but probably not as scary as Atomic Samurai. So yeah, I think that they're coming back for sure. They kind of like use the whole cow in One Punch Man. There's no real things that's spared. If they show you something or go in depth in something, it's going to come back. It's going to get expanded upon, whether it's just one chapter or like its whole arc. Like with the ninjas. If the ninjas, where they were just talking about them being the class and all of that stuff, and it took them a while to actually reveal that there's like many other class members that have survived out there, and there's a whole organization, and the leader's still out there. And now that we've actually seen the Council of Swordsmen, I totally think they're going to come back. And they all have disciples and stuff like that, too. So you're right. They're probably not as scary as Atomic Samurai, but I think they're all more or less like S-class level. Probably like low S-class level. At least that's the implications that was made in that one scene. I mean, Haragiri seemed to be like S-class level even before his monstrification, if it was true that he can draw a sword faster than the speed of sound. So that's like Sonic level stuff. So definitely more so than what like an A-class guy could do. So I do think they're going to come back. How prominent will they be? Not too sure, but for sure they're coming back. Zapphod B asks, could Saitama jump back to the moon if he wanted to get moon rocks? Yeah, I totally think he could do this. If he did like serious jump or something like that, he could definitely propel himself to the moon and then get some moon rocks that he wants. But interestingly enough, in the volume, I forget what volume it is, but whatever volume has chapter 36 in it, after his fight with Boros, when he like comes home, he knocks moon rocks out of his boot. Like, and he shows Genos, and like Genos says that they're worth like 600,000 yen, which is like $5,000 or something, which is not true. I looked it up, and they're like worth actually $50,000 a gram or something like that. But it's just an estimate because they're not for sale, obviously. But he does have moon rocks, but he like lost them when he was trying to go sell them in the chapter. Pretty funny, but yeah. So that's kind of odd that was cleared up, but I like that little bonus chapter that we get. How might a fight between Zombie Man and Withered Sprout go? Could Withered Sprout potentially be able to beat Zombie Man if he was hit by his ice and no one knew about his location? Thanks for everything, Shonen. Stay awesome. Hey, thank you, Zapphod, for all the support. So yeah, Withered Sprout, in theory, could, air quotes, defeat Zombie Man. But Zombie Man would just eventually thaw out or eventually be able to muscle himself out of the ice and then just track down Withered Sprout and eventually kill him. So it would just be a war's attrition as always. I mean, it would really be how long could Withered Sprout hold off Zombie Man until Zombie Man just eventually just finds him and just like decapitates him secretly or something. The one above all patrons, Wolf Pup, asks, Bonjour, Maestro Shonen, ongeki desu ka? Wolf here. My first question is, what class/rank would you put Seiya from Blood Plus, Karia from Samurai Champloo, and Teresa from Claymore if they jumped into the One Punch Man universe and joined the Hero Association? All three of them wield swords, but power-wise, they have respectable strength and abilities. Which of the three, in your opinion, could go toe-to-toe with Atomic Samurai, and what disaster level would you give them? We know we're the beings out there with the S-Class potential, yeah, and they hide in the shadows of society. So, we'll start with Karia. So, she's pretty powerful. It's difficult to say how powerful those demons that she was going against are. They didn't really seem like demon level. Maybe they were like high tigers, maybe low demons, something like that, but she definitely has good physical strength, as she was able to like power struggle with one of them. She's obviously really lethal with the sword. She's pretty fast too, but nothing that's like ultra impressive in that department, at least in the world of One Punch Man. So I'm thinking Karia would probably be like A class, like high A class, like top 5 A class. Definitely like probably up there with E-Iron, probably around that level. And then Karia, he is probably the most skilled of these three, maybe just the implications of his skill, because he's like a master, the master among masters. But he's just lacking like that superhuman qualities to him. I mean, that's all that's really he's lacking. He doesn't have like the super ultra outrageous speed and power and all of that. So he's just really limited to his techniques and fundamental baseline human abilities, I suppose. So he'd probably be like B class, high B class at the most, honestly. And then we have Teresa, who's definitely the strongest of the three here. She's S-Class level, like low S-Class level probably. And she's definitely like demon, maybe high demon possibly. She's really fast, the fastest of all of them for sure, and the strongest. I mean, she just excels in all the attributes there. And that goes into the question of she's probably the one that could go toe-to-toe with Atomic Samurai, but she's not fast enough to deal with his speed or power. So she probably wouldn't be able to win against him, but he would probably respect her enough to be above his disciples, probably. I mean, she definitely has that strength of, like, an S-Class hero, and she seems to be, like, I don't know, maybe as fast as Sonic, something like that. Maybe not webcomic Sonic, but probably manga Sonic. She's pretty impressive. So, yeah, she would be, like, low S-Class level around there with, like, Puri Puri and Metal Bat. And then she'd probably be like maybe a high demon, somewhere around there. And then as for the other two, they'd probably be like regulated to like tigers. Like maybe Seiya would be like a low demon, maybe like a high tiger, maybe above tiger, somewhere around there. And then Karia would probably be regulated to high tiger. He like I said, he just doesn't have the super, physiological attributes to him, unfortunately. But second question, if Golden S were to fight released Boros, not going to Meteoric Burst, how will the fight go down? Will Golden S have the upper hand? Arigato. So, Golden S, like I always say, we have to like really wait for his manga feats, but just based off his webcomic feats, and given how easily he was defeated by Awakened Garo, I think he would probably fare the same against Released Boros. Like, Released Boros is just as powerful, if not more powerful and faster, than Awakened Garo is. Or just at base, without, like, abandonment or anything like that. So he probably would get low, maybe mid-diff at the best against Released Boros, at least currently. I'm sure he'll be much more powerful once we get to see him in the manga. ShadowBatX asks, hello again, disaster level above Saitama Shonen. It's always fun talking to you every weekend, and now that you're on a roll with the videos this week. Also, I wanted to say I love you too. You can interpret that in any way you want, but I felt guilty since you always declare your love for us at every Q&A, so I should do the same. Hey, thank you, ShadowBatX. I mean, you already know that I love you, so there you go. But let's talk about the Bearded Worker, aka Blast, aka an alternate older version of Saitama that exists in the same timeline as the current Saitama. Sorry about that last one, I just wanted to hear you say it. I may have found more evidence that confirms him as Blast, mainly in Chapter 84, 119, and 120. If you compare the old version of Blast panel before they change it and look at the later panel with Bearded Worker in Chapter 84, they share the same characteristics such as the cheekbone structure and their eyebrow and structure and position. They have changed the old Blast panel because with those two comparisons, it did show too much. Also in Chapter 84 and 119, they have the same design if you look at them from the back, especially if the beard worker pushes his hair back. He would have the same appearance as Blast in Chapter 120. I don't know if you noticed, but there is a shadowy figure of someone in the panel of Sitch talking to Genos in the background, and then the later panel with Sitch, the figure is gone. This feels like a secret message from One and Murata that Blast is already at the Hero Association. Since Chapter 119, Drive Knight kept hypothetically asking about him. Sorry, not the best theory or question this time, but I just really wanted to confirm him as Blast before the year ends. So do you think it's true, or are you going to treat me like Drive Knight and ask for more proof? No, not at all. You know that I'm on the Blast bearded worker hype train. Like, I totally think that is true. Like, not even memeing it. Like, I really do think it's going to be revealed eventually, and I think it's going to be incredible if it finally does come to fruition, because it would just further draw the parallels between the Clark Kent Superman thing, which I think is trying to be coming across here. It would just be so cool. Like, tell me that, like, not just you, ShadowBat, but everyone else listening, you would be hyped as hell if the bearded worker just, like, took off his shirt and then he had the Blast costume underneath and he pushed his hair back and he just started beasting people. You know you would be hyped as hell if that happened. But I didn't notice that originally in Chapter 120 about the figure in the back. I definitely do think that's the bearded worker. It looks like his outline, at least, and the area that they're in inside the Hero Association, that's definitely where bearded worker would be, because he's always there, you know, with the branch operator chick. So that might be what you're saying, like a little Easter egg out there, like, yeah, Blast is there. So go ahead, Metal Knight, go ahead and try. You're going to get wrecked if you try to go there. Blast is already there. He's already always been there. He was actually there when Boros invaded, too. He was just helping people on the ground. He was letting the S-Class take care of it. But the thing they were saying about Chapter 84, that's totally true. And it is probably why they changed it, because, you know, beard worker is prominent in that chapter, very close to that panel, too. So they're probably like, they don't want to draw too many comparisons there. But I do like it. I really do hope this comes to fruition. I can't wait. Last question. Who's more powerful? The mosquito, the cat scratched Saitama, Dirtworm, or the bird that ate Dirtworm, or King's Chin? Also, I'm sure you'll be very happy that Second Guard will get a new mechanical arm, while the iron is completely forgotten. High five me, because I know you agree with me. Also, 22.5, I meant 1,000, not 22.5 alone, if you're wondering from the last Q&A. Anyways, thanks for the entertainment, and take care, my friend. Yeah, okay, thank you for clearing that up, ShadowBat. And the strongest is probably King's Chin, although the mosquito can, like, warp time and space. That's pretty powerful, too, but King can warp reality, so maybe that trumps that. PFM18 asks, hey, Shonen, I've wanted to become a patron for a long time, but I'm super broke. But I'm graduating in a week, so hopefully I'll be able to find a job soon that will be able to fund my obsession with your channel. Hey, thank you so much, PFM. I really appreciate that, despite you lacking the funds to support me, but you still did it anyway, so thank you so much. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Garo at his absolute peak versus Saitama. He evolves and grows wings against Saitama, only be messed up immediately. Then Saitama says that Garo has gotten weaker. Do you think this is because his wing form is weaker, possibly due to him losing his humanity intelligence, or because the damage that he took from Saitama, making his strongest form the one with the horns on his back? Also, why do you talk about this version in the Garo in all of your tiers videos? You talked about Meteoric Burst Boros, but not Garo's peak, and put them in different tiers. So I didn't talk about it because there's just a little too much speculation going into it, and I will make a video dedicated to this subject for sure. I definitely have it planned because it needs to be talked about, but it's just that the webcomic never really makes things too clear. So the same thing with, like, Golden S. It's just so much speculation that we have to do it, and it's going to be a while before we get to this part in the manga. But when Saitama says the line, like, haven't you noticed you're weaker than you were before, we can't really, like, compare it to the winged form or the backhorn form, because he's saying this when Garo has already, like, miniaturized, and he's, like, in that small horned form, which I don't even really know what to call it, because it's, like, awakened still, but he's, like, a small monster somewhat. So because he's saying it at this point, I think he's all likelihood referring to the small form. It's not really talking about the big winged form or the horned form. So those forms, they only really have, like, the ambiguous feet to them. If we're comparing it to, like, other people. So the punch that he throws at Saitama, it's implied to be pretty powerful, and it pushes Saitama back. And the punch that he's throwing is kind of fast, I suppose, but Saitama easily evades it, and then he punches him in the stomach. And the reaction that he gives is similar to Meteoric Burst Boros. Like, he doesn't really move, and then the blood comes out of his mouth. But, you know, Meteoric Burst Boros does move a couple feet. But, you know, there's a whole discrepancy between he's not really trying to kill Garo at all. Even that's why I assume he survives a serious headbutt no problem, because he's not really trying to kill him. Although it does blow off a part of his arm, and then he regenerates. So, yeah, he's probably really powerful in this form, but maybe he just lacks skill and speed because he's not, like, he has lost intelligence and somewhat of his humanity. So, it's really difficult to say, and that's why I really didn't want to compare him too much in those tiers videos. But, like I said, I will make a video really breaking this guy down. But just to clear up all that other stuff, I think he's referring to the small horned form when he says that line about being weaker. Although, I mean, you can really take it however you really want in the end. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 85 of my exquisite patrons, guys. I love you! Thank you so much for everything. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A video, just simply check out my Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll